He's 6'4". He is handsome. He is a Paralympian, and he is everything you'd ever want in a super athlete. My friend Jamal Hill is with us, and he's here to talk about swim uphill, but more importantly, about the things you can do, not the things you can't do. Jamal, welcome. Nice to have you with us.
Thank you so much for having me this morning on BEONDTV, brother. Happy to be here.
Well, it's such a pleasure because, I've admired you. I love the Paralympics. I think it's an amazing thing that the athletes do, and I've supported it myself and have been a big part of that in the Los Angeles area. Your story there is really interesting because you really wanted to be in the Olympics. And some people say, well, the Paralympics is not like the Olympics, but in fact, it really is.
Yeah, it really is, man. And you pretty much nailed it. I was living with a hereditary neuropathy, a disability, but it was on that invisible spectrum of disability. It didn't fit into most people's, the mental framework or the stereotypes of, oh, this person is blind or this person is missing a limb. It was much more subtle, but that didn't make my challenges, my struggles every day any less real, trust me. And so, just kind of living with that, living in really a pre-COVID world, living in a slightly less awakened world in my youth where disability wasn't necessarily celebrated. I lived with a lot of shame. And so, I did my best to hide it. I did my best to blend in. And a part of that, still was this desire to swim and to be the best. It was just a little bit misguided, and that's kind of why my track was, I'm going to be an Olympian, and that's all there is to it.
Well, your coach, Wilma Wong, really helped steer you in the right direction. She noticed that from your knees down, you really weren't functioning like everyone else, and she had to work around that, and you've managed to work around that. Your upper body is a tremendous. You're quite a specimen here. So tell me a little bit about the fact that swimming is something that is as a difficult sport as easy as it seems. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people don't swim. A lot of people don't swim at the level that you do. But this has become part of your mission in life, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of it did begin when Wilma and I met. Our paths crossed at a divine time. Like you said, she was the first coach, and not just coach person in 12 years to ever really kind of call me out on Charcot-Marie-Tooth, which is the name of that neuropathy that I live with. And initially I was not open to sharing about it. I was very offended, as you can imagine. I've built this persona, this identity. There's nothing, air quotes, wrong with me, right? I don't have a disability. And for someone to acknowledge it was a relief. It's like, wow, okay, I've been seen, and now it's just not me making excuses, right, for something nobody can see. But it was also a great challenge. It's like, well, now you're calling me to accept an aspect of myself that I've intentionally chosen to hide in the closet behind the broomstick. So it was definitely quite the journey. And, once I leaned into it and really started to accept myself and my disability and learn more about the Paralympic movement, I very quickly came to realize, almost in the form of an epiphany, dude, there's more to being a champion than just winning medals, chains and silver and gold. Maybe it's not a dime a dozen, but it's gotta be, a dime every 2 dozen. So there's gotta be more. There's gotta be more that I can offer. There's gotta be more for me to give than just a smiling face with the chain around my neck.
So that's what Swim Uphill, the birth of that, right? So
yes,
you
sir.
decided you want to teach 1 million people, not just 1 or 2, a whole million people to swim. Why is that?
Yeah, man. I was, still a young guy. I was a bit younger. I just really, again, made it onto that Team USA platform. And, I'd been doing some entrepreneurial things. I'd been hustling here and there. I had a long history, almost a decade as a lifeguard to that point. And I think most young people, especially young men, I'm trying to decide, okay, what is my life going to be about? What am I going to build my foundation on? And I came across this tool called the Eulerian Destiny. And it's kind of this Venn diagram of 5 overlapping circles. And, it's like, what have you done for the past 10 years? What did you want to be as a child? And at the center, right, at the convergence of all these circles, everything was just pointing to, okay, Yes, we know I'm a pro swimmer, but I have a lot to offer in terms of education. I have a lot to offer in terms of just presence and using this new platform. And so, dude, I just took a step back, did a little bit of research, and quickly realized, like, man, there's 250,000 people officially drowning around the world every year, and unofficially there's closer to about 1 million people drowning around the world every year. Most low to middle income communities. And so it's like, dude, I'm okay. Well, this is obviously what I was called to do. This is, you can't do it by yourself, but dude, I've been an evangelist for it, using every single medal, every single record as a platform to get that mission out there more. Like you said, everybody doesn't need to be a Paralympian or Olympian, but everyone should be safe around the water. And if you can be safe, you can enjoy it. So that's what really inspired that in me.
Well, you're an inspirational ambassador for that, for sure. And I love the methodology. I think, being a swimmer myself for many, many years, your methodology, a bowl, a bench, and a bucket, which is the name of your book with Wilma Wong.
Absolutely.
And it's interesting because you actually make kids put their face in a bucket and teach them how to breathe. I think fear is a big problem with people learning how to swim, right?
Yes, sir. Fear is a huge, huge problem. And so as a woman, obviously we have multiple kind of layers to our partnership here. So not only coach and athlete, but also, definitely like mastermind, real partners. And so as we embarked on this mission to, again, what originally was just to teach 1 million, and because we're seeing so much success, it's grown into now the goal is to teach 1 million people a year by 2028.
Wow.
It just started with, who would it probably be most difficult to teach swimming to? Yeah. People with fears of water. And that was the inception of the bowl, bench, bucket. How can we start to ingrain these very basic fundamental skills that you need for swimming in a very comfortable environment, as comfortable as possible, as accessible as possible, really focusing on meeting people where they are. And as we just kind of broke that down over years, working with people, we started to realize, wow, the same challenges that people with a fear of water are facing are very similar in a lot of ways to the same challenges that people of low and middle income resources are facing. It comes down to comfort, it comes down to access, and it comes down to a system, again, that's going to meet them where they are.
Well, you are a champion in every way, Jamal Hill. Thank you so much for being with us. And as they say, don't diss my ability because you have them in buckets. So I so appreciate your time. And folks, if you want to get involved with helping Jamal on his cause, it's swimuphill.org is the website. Thanks so much for being with us, Jamal.
Thank you, brother.